You're making me nervous, Terry. I was wondering if I had the wrong spot.
No, not at all. I'm right here.
How was dinner?
Good. Very good. I'm stuffed.
That sounds like me earlier from 2 picnics.
So let me look real quick. Priscilla needed me to look at something real quick.
Happy birthday.
Thank you. Thank you. It's officially tomorrow, but why not celebrate the whole time?
Week-long celebration. Heck, month-long celebration.
Yeah, exactly. Let's celebrate. All right. And you know what? Actually, it was slide 20 you told me to look at, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was just my terrible grammar.
Yeah. And is it selfies?
It's Silfies. Silfis.
Okay. Oh, I never got how many years, Michelle?
11 and a half.
11.
There's Priscilla.
There's the other star. Okay. I got your grammar fixed. Priscilla, did you get my message?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yep. All righty. All right. Well, it is 9 o'clock. Maybe we should give it a couple more minutes.
Yeah.
Thanks for being on time, Alan.
Didn't she get the door prize?
Yeah.
There's Miss Jennifer back from her director retreat.
Hello.
Hey, sweetheart.
How are you?
Good, good, good.
How's everything?
Awesome. There's Miss Robin.
Hey, Robin. On mute.
Yeah. Well, I know we're right at 9, but yeah, 9:01. I guess let's go ahead and make this happen. They're lost for not coming live.
Yep.
Yep. All right. So we are recording. And let me share my screen. Robin, will you do a reminder in the group? Want people to get their butts over here?
Yep, I will.
Thank you. All right. All right, welcome everyone. I am Terry Palat, and this is our 3rd training in this series with Settle for More. And I am very happy to introduce 2 awesome directors within our business. Together, they've been here almost 34 years collectively. It's a lot of time for 2 individuals, and I'm just honored to have them here. So we have Michelle and Priscilla. Priscilla's going to be first talking about customer care, and then Michelle is going to come in and go over our prospecting. So without further ado, we're going to go ahead and start with Miss Priscilla.
Hi there. Good evening. I'm Priscilla. I am a director in South Central Pennsylvania, and I've been with Pampered Chef. It will be 22 years this August. I started basically just to get the kit and get those products. However, I stayed because they kept giving me free stuff. And as the years have gone on, the reasons change, but I am so thankful for how good Pampered Chef is for us, and I love those free vacations every year. And I wouldn't be able to work for anybody else after all these years when they tell me when to work. So that's one of the reasons I do stay. So we're going to talk about customer service tonight, and one good customer service to your customers is going to change their entire perception about you and about your business. Customers are our greatest asset. Without them, we have no business, right? So maintaining relationships is one of the most important elements in your business. You want to keep them happy and keep them coming back to you. You want them to remember you when they think about their Pampered Chef needs or questions. So your happy customers can generate more sales. They can increase your bookings. They can bring new consultants onto your team. And in the long run, they help you earn more money. So that's one of the reasons we want to have good customer care. Of course, it's important to consistently add new customers to your lists, and Michelle will get into that a little bit, but you've already done the hard work with your existing customers. So taking time to provide them with the ongoing customer service will, again, create that loyalty, more sales, and a healthy business. We have all kinds of people to follow up with. We've got our current guests in our parties. We've got our new customers from those existing parties, both virtual and in-home. We've got our hosts, and we have our past customers as well. So things that you can always do is always be thinking about what you can be doing for them. We are a service-oriented business, so it's important to do that. I also do customer care with any online orders I get as well. And they then become new customers. Customer care can be time consuming too, but there's a method, the 2-2-2 method. Not sure if you've heard of that. It's an excellent way to keep the customer care ongoing and to follow up and keep in touch. This customer care approach is basically 3 phone calls, 2 days after the party, 2 weeks after the party, and 2 months after the party. And sometimes, although not regularly, and I should, I will add another call before the year is up from someone purchasing products from a party. I will make another call, and I've found out when I've done some of those, I just want to make sure that their product is still working for them. I have found that I've had customers that have had an issue, and they, for some reason, they don't call me. They forget about that warranty that's on their product. But a few times I found something was broken or whatever. We've been able to fix it. So if you want to just continue that works as well. So the 2 days after the party is basically we've got some words here that you can use. You're going to just follow up with them, thank them for coming to the party, or thank them for ordering. If it was a virtual party, you want to thank them for participating in the virtual party. And we've got words here to say just, you wanted to reach out, thank them, and see if there's anything else you can help them with. I will offer recipes for their particular product that they may have purchased. You can ask them questions if they had any questions about anything else that they saw in the party. And then just remind them too that if they had a lot of items on their wish list, that you can help them get those things for free as well. I know we don't always have that time during the party to talk to absolutely everybody. So this is a good time to follow up. And if I get a voicemail, I will always leave a message, and I let them know I'm sending them an email too. I have Evernote files I use, and I have a follow-up, like a morning after email, thanking them for coming to the party, giving them the recipes to that we did at the party, and also again reiterating those customer services. So I will leave a voicemail for them and say, I'm sending you an email, be on the watch out for it, so that way they're sure to see it, because I know these days not everybody checks their emails. So the next time is going to be 2 weeks after the party. But one thing I want to tell you is to call your host first to make sure, especially if you're not on a direct ship program, call your host first to make sure the products have been delivered to her guests. You don't want to make a phone call to a guest and find out that they haven't got their products yet. So that's one thing I want to make just to emphasize, to do that first. Call the host first. And you want to make sure the host is happy with all of her things as well, but you want to just make sure everything's been delivered. And this slide has words that you can use as well. And there are more words that you can use at PC University as well. And this is something I call an out-of-the-box call. And again, if you can't reach them, you leave a voicemail and tell them you're sending them an email. And I have like an out-of-the-box email that I will send. And again, it has recipe links. So a lot of times I link them back to my website for the recipes or to an article on the blog in that out-of-the-box email. But you want to make sure that they're happy with their products, see if they're using it. Again, you can offer recipes for those products, and then remind them that when you had called earlier that you wanted to let them know that they could have parties of their own, and you can emphasize some special types of themes that you do this time of year, grilling, simple salads, and especially this month, now you've got the new products that have been introduced since you've had your May parties. You've got these new products that have come out in June. So it's a really good time to follow up with those May parties. 2 months after the party, again, it's still customer care, and you're being of service to your customers. It means that you're sharing. We've got more ideas and more products and more tips to offer them as well. And let them know what you're excited about. And right now I'm going to be calling everybody and letting them know I'm so excited about that snack mold. And I've been using that a lot in different things that they can do for healthy lifestyles and be in control of what's going into their diet. So, and hopefully you'll create a desire for them wanting more. And then again, you can offer them your theme parties and ask them too if they've thought any more about the business from previous conversations, or even if they have any referrals of anybody that they know that might be interested in the business. Let them know right now is a fantastic time to start. Summertime, make some money for vacations, and throughout the summer, then of course they've got those back to school things. But the fortune is always in the follow-up. You want them coming back to you, and with great and consistent customer care, you will generate that loyalty and have them coming back to you. A few examples, what I've had in the past, for like passing out a postcard to online orders, I've had them call me and book a party, and then from that party is more parties and more sales and more customers. So, and I've had people contact me for fundraisers. I've had guests. I had a past host who one of her friends became a consultant. That consultant has since quit. She called me to do the bridal show for her daughter because I've stayed in touch with them. And Pampered Chef makes it easier for us to stay in touch. You still need to do these initial touches, the 2 calls, the 222 calls, and then with your ongoing e-newsletter, that's a great way for Pampered Chef to help you keep in touch with them with a newsletter. But look at these statistics. The more contacts you make, a lot of people give up after 1 time or 2 or even 3. So the more times you make contact with them, the better off you're going to be. You're going to have those customers coming back to you. You're going to have them referring you to other people. When somebody asks about Pampered Chef, you're going to have them coming back to you for booking parties, fundraisers, and it might be a couple years from now, but it's still worth it in the long run. Ways to keep organized. Here's just a few ideas. I kind of do a little mix of things, but a binder is a nice way of keeping in touch. You can take their orders and put them in a binder and set them in 2 weeks. Have a divider for 2 weeks, 2 months, and 2 days, and then just make sure you move them from the 2 weeks, the 2 days to the 2 weeks to the 2 months. Tickler file, you can also do your January through December file folders in like a business in a box. Another way too, and I do this more often now, is a calendar. You can put alerts on your phone. And I usually just put the party, whoever party it was, their name in my phone calendar, give me the alert to make my phone calls for that. And then I can go right back to Pampered Chef's website and go right down the line of all the customers who had ordered from that party that day. And I can send out, make my phone calls, but I also do follow up with that email as well, because I can't always reach them by phone. I use Evernote as well. You put your parties in Evernote, and then you can put dates in there for tags, and that can remind you what days to follow up with people too. And then also too, I was telling Terry earlier, the contacts in your contact database in your website, I'm not sure if everybody's aware of this, but you can create folders for just about anything. I know you've got your send e-newsletter folder and your potential recruits and your potential hosts and your host folders, but I've created folders for different months of the year. And then the month I want to follow up, and this is great for bookings and for recruiting as well, when somebody says to call you back at a certain time, but you can also do it for this 222 system. Then you put a check mark next to the person's name for that month of the year. So if I've done a party in May, I'll put all those people from May into my June folder by putting a check mark under their contact list. And then I'll go into the June folder and I can follow up with them, and I can take the check mark off so they're removed from that folder. And I always just type in notes. If somebody's pregnant, somebody's remodeling, contact later, I can put those in notes, and people are and that's right in the contact management as well. And it just makes you seem smarter when you can remember all these little things about what they told you. So when you follow up again, you're going to, ask them how they're doing, and ask them how the remodel is, or how's the new baby, did you have a boy or a girl, whatever it is. They always do appreciate you knowing something about them. So that makes it easy to do that in the contact section of a Pampered Chef's website, or you can also do it in Evernote as well. But with all the technology, depending on how technical you are, you can do a combination of a couple things if you want. So I hope that helps a little bit, and we're going to turn things over to Michelle, who's going to go over the prospecting for you. And thanks for joining us.
Thank you so much, Priscilla. As she said, I am Michelle Silfies. I'm an advanced director from Allentown, Pennsylvania, near Allentown, Pennsylvania. And I have been in the business for 11 years. I started because I wanted everything and couldn't afford it. And I stay because it allows me the opportunity to be with my children, be involved in their school activities, go to all of their activities, not have to worry about taking a day off or having vacation time or anything like that for field trips and everything else going on this time of year. All the snow days that they had, I don't have to worry about finding somewhere to put my children or who's going to watch them with the school year being extended and all those type of things. So that is the reason that I do my Pampered Chef business. And I love helping my team to grow and inviting others to this business because it is an amazing opportunity. So we're going to talk about prospecting. So what is prospecting? defined by the Business Encyclopedia as the first step in the sales process, which consists of identifying potential customers. Makes sense? So you want to think of prospecting as a way to increase awareness of your personal business, but not necessarily that you're trying to sell something or convince someone to buy something. So if you've been on Pampered Chef University, PCU, you know that about 80% of hosts start out as your guests. That leaves 20% left to be found, but how are you going to find them? So think about the places that you go on a daily basis. Even if it's just to drop off and pick up your children from school, the post office, bank, grocery store, you come in contact with people all the time. Think about each of them as your next potential host. So whether you like to cook, hate to cook, or would rather order takeout on a regular basis, everyone needs to eat. And every single home that I've ever been in, please let me know if you've ever seen one that doesn't have one, but every home that I've ever been in has a kitchen. But you can't just walk up to somebody you don't know, hand them your business card, and expect them to give you their name, number, and break out their calendar right in the spot to book a show or join your team. Can you? No, you can't. Don't try that. Please don't. This is a relationship business. So how do you build relationships? You need to believe that everyone is worth connecting with, because they are. Start a conversation. You might need to step outside your comfort zone to do this. Wear logo wear, which might help to initiate a conversation. Somebody will walk right up to you and say, "You sell Pampered Chef? I love Pampered Chef." You can ask about the last time they had a show, their favorite product. It will find a way to start a conversation, and they kind of initiate it, which takes a little bit of pressure off you if you're just not comfortable yet with doing that. The more you do prospecting, the more you're reaching out and starting conversations, even if it's just a silly conversation or what would seem to you like a silly conversation, the more comfortable you'll get with just talking to anybody and everybody. So think about, again, those places that you frequent every day, like the grocery store, family reunion, picnic, coffee shop, kids events, and then challenge yourself. Set a goal to talk to X number of people every single day. How many conversations can you start in a day? On PCU, they talk about the 3 steps to successful prospecting. Be approachable, smile and make eye contact. You don't want to be staring at the ground or trying to hide. When you're going out and about, you want to make sure that you look presentable. Don't get me wrong, I wear my baseball hat and look like a scrub every so often, but you want to make sure that you're approachable, that you looked nice when you're going out. Start a conversation related to wherever you're at. So if you're at the grocery store and you happen to be walking in the produce section and there's somebody that's sitting there, looking through the pineapples, and you could walk up to them and say, I just lost my spot, sorry. What is your tip for picking out a ripe pineapple? You look like you know what you're doing. So people love to talk about themselves. Start a conversation with anything. It might seem like a silly conversation, but it's definitely not. So find an opportunity to bring up Pampered Chef. So back to your grocery store example. I recently heard a new tip on how to pick out a ripe pineapple. You want to pick one that is heavy for its size and has a tropical smell at the stem end. I learned this because I'm a Pampered Chef consultant, and I love eating fresh pineapple. And our pineapple wedger makes it so easy to cut up a fresh pineapple. Are you familiar with Pampered Chef? So where do you start with prospecting? Well, you can start with your launch list. What is your launch list? Your list of 100, your top 40, your Frank's list, all those things are considered your launch list. They've just had different names over the past couple of years. So it's essentially a list of friends, family, neighbors, your spouse's friends, anybody you can think of to reach out to. Do you have school-age children? You can drop a snack off at the teacher's lounge. You could take a snack to a sporting event. Doesn't have to be your child if you don't have any children or don't have any children that play sports. You could go to your nieces, your nephews, grandchildren. Keep your eyes out wherever you go for fundraising opportunities. There's constantly signs, especially this time of year, spaghetti dinners and car washes and bingos and all of those things that are looking for opportunities for fundraising. You can certainly reach out to those organizations. There's usually a contact name somewhere on that bulletin board to reach out to that person. in charge and find out more about doing fundraising. That information can also be found on Pampered Chef University for fundraising. So the places you frequent, it's really easy to go through the drive-through at the bank. Don't do it. Go in, start talking to the tellers, make that relationship. Same thing with the post office. I know the post office doesn't have a drive-through, but that'd be really great if it did. But no, you don't want to do that. You want to go in. So the social media, post a picture, go live, making dinner. Not necessarily that you're trying to sell something, but just to show your excitement over a new product, show your excitement over a new recipe. You know, I just made this for my kids and it was a total win. We had, you know, chicken and rice, and it appeased everybody, you know, something, whatever the case may be. And then anybody that comments or likes or shows engagement during your live, reach out to them privately. Don't do group messages, don't do group tags or anything like that. Reach out to them privately. When people ask me what I do, I tell them I teach busy people how to get dinner on the table in less than 30 minutes. Have you ever heard of Pampered Chef? Make sure you're carrying business cards, mini catalogs, and if the conversation allows, get their information. So number one rule, don't get discouraged. I love this little picture here. Dear past me, you've got this, love your future self, or love future you. It's totally true. A no is part of our business. You're going to hear it 100,000 times the longer you stay in this business, and don't take it personally. A leader shared with me, oh my goodness, in one of these calls or something, I remember hearing about, they're not saying no to you, they're just saying no to vacuuming. For those that do in-home shows, it's not that they don't want to have a show, it's they don't feel like breaking out all the cleaning supplies to clean their house and find a spot for the kids and find a spot for the husband. So they're just saying no to vacuuming. They don't want you to have you in their house and do a in-home show because they don't want to vacuum. So with prospecting, it takes you about 6 no's before you get a yes. So the bottom line, be yourself, be approachable, and change people's lives with Pampered Chef. That's it.
All right. Thank you, ladies. Thank you very much. We're going to open it up to Q&A in just a moment, but I want to go over our call of action for the next 2 weeks. So we would like you to really incorporate the 222 into your shows, whether it's just one of them that you want to try it out on if you haven't done so, already, or to all of them. The more you do it the more you're going to get out of it, absolutely. But at least start with one if you haven't done it before, or if you haven't done it in a while, start with one. A lot of people get hung up on, how far do I go back to get started? Just start today. Start on the show you have now, or the one that's coming up in a couple of days, and then go from there. And then if you have spare time on your hands, then go back a couple of shows. No problem. No harm, no foul. Make a commitment to contact a set number of customers each workday. So you may be hearing the buzz around Pampered Chef where they're recommending this month particularly to contact 25 people. Actually have communication with them, not just pick up the phone and make 25 calls, but actually have a two-way conversation going on with 25 people per week for hosting. And then maybe from there, it could be, also 25 per month for recruiting. But start somewhere. If your number isn't that high, or if you're just looking to do this customer care, something along those lines, just set that number, set a goal, try it for a while. You will definitely see the progress in doing it down the road. So you need to keep doing it for a while. Create either a paper or electronic way to document your tracking. It really doesn't matter which type of tracking system you have. There's lots to choose from, but just pick one that works for you, one that you're going to be consistently, using is the key to having that system. Because if you're not going to use it, it's not going to help you. Schedule prospecting on your calendar and try a new way as suggested in this training. Lots of ideas these ladies gave to you, especially Michelle on the prospecting side. Try picking one. Try, it for a week and maybe try something new the next week. The more you get uncomfortable, probably the more comfortable you're going to be later on. So definitely try new things. That's important as well. Keep a lead log, and then we do ask you to do 2 lessons. We always, ask you to do 2 lessons, one of which is is in our PC University. It's the customer care section. And then if you go over to the Director Bound program, there is prospecting and booking away from the party, which is also a great lesson and training and everything else. A lot of materials are there, resources. So those are the different things that we'd like you to do for call of action this week. If you have any questions about that or anything that was mentioned in tonight's training, please, either speak up or comment on the chat down below. Quiet crew, you might have to unmute yourselves. No questions whatsoever? No comments?
I know I'm perfect. Thanks.
You are perfect, Michelle. You both did an amazing job. You absolutely do. You covered a lot of information. So I think it was just amazing. So thank you very much for your time. So if we don't have any questions, I don't see any coming up in chat either. We're going to go ahead and close it out. Early night. I guess you get to go to bed if you guys are tired. Next Sunday is, oops, we got some comments. Next Sunday is our Q&A. Oh, thanks. Got to thank you from Colleen. It's our Q&A at 9 p.m. So come join us. It'll be the second to last Q&A we'll have before this program closes out. Very cool. Colleen says she's all over 222. Very awesome. You'll definitely see.
Terry, sorry to interrupt you in the middle of talking. Just to go back to the 222 and the customer care, just something that I do. After every show and even my virtual parties, I will send a text to the person. And I probably just tweaked this a little bit. I got it from a friend who was at a conference a few years ago, and I send the same text to every single person, and I'll post it in the group. But it basically says, "Hi, Kim, this is Jen with Jen from Pampered Chef. It was so nice meeting you at Lucille's cooking party. Thank you for supporting her. I appreciate your order, and I know she does too. Now that you have my cell, 516, blah, 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 feel free to add me to your contacts as Pampered Chef Jen. I would love to help you anytime with products, recipes, or any questions at all. Have a great night, day, whatever, Jen." And most times they will answer me back, "Thank you so much. It was so fun." Or, "Oh, you know what? I want to add X, Y, and Z to my order," which is always a bonus. So that's just something that I do. And when you get in the habit of doing it and do it all the time, you can get a lot of success from that. And then when you contact them, 2 weeks later and ask them how their products are, that's where you're developing the relationship. And then in your third two, that's when you have developed that relationship and hit them up for that show. So it was a great training. Thank you.
And do you keep that? You said you text message them that?
I text that. I find a lot of success texting that right after. I try and get cell phone numbers at my cooking shows. I'll ask them, like, "Is this your home or is this your cell?" And I try to just make sure I get cell numbers, because I find that to be the most successful.
Awesome. And do you keep that in your notes in your phone?
Oh, yes. I keep that in my notes, or I go back to, I just search like the word "thank you" in my text and just copy and paste and change it to the person's name. Yeah.
Awesome.
So.
Yeah, I have similar success because I'm all virtual, but I do it by text message also. But my rule of thumb is 2 hours. 2 hours from receiving that email that says there's an order been placed on one of my virtual shows. I try to send them a text message, very similar to what you were saying. Mm-hmm. But it's whatever contact you do, the quicker you get to them, the better. So like Jen does it right after shows. I do it right after they place a virtual, order. Or an order on my website after during a virtual party. But 2 days and 2 weeks is good too. But doing nothing is definitely going to hurt you. Doing any of this is definitely absolutely going to help. So awesome. Anything else? All righty. Well, let's go ahead and close it up. I hope you all have a wonderful evening. Thanks again to Michelle and Priscilla. And see you soon, guys.
Bye.
Bye now.
Bye.